I was the business unit manager for a vinyl flooring manufacturing plant in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This business was in a downward spiral for many years, and it was rare that new products or investments were made at the plant. Sadly, union and management were quite combative and not trusting. And even though I was trying to do my best, I was told by the union president that, "Adam, why should we trust you? We couldn't trust the person before you, and we certainly won't be able to trust the person after you." Did not make for an easy situation. But I knew that my role was to do the best we could with what we had, make the improvements, keep the team focused, and keep them safe and productive. Now, early in my career there was a corporate leadership change, and with it came intense pressure to reduce costs at our plant, and quite often the VP of operations would threaten people with termination. In fact, if you were speaking with him, oftentimes he was yelling at you and his face was beet red. So that made things even more difficult. Now in the fall, our new product development team decided to take a shot and come up with some radically new products for our factory. They asked us if we would be willing to help them develop these products to give it another shot to revive our business. Well, of course, I was excited about it and tried to rally my troops around it. So, being a little different, we decided to partner with marketing and try to really make the launch exciting and fun. So together, we created a special customer tour, and we spent weeks cleaning years and decades of clutter and filth out of the plant to get the plant to a point where we could be proud to give tours. We also asked our union hourly folks to be our tour guides because they knew the process better than anyone else. So we gave the tour, and it was amazingly well received. Sadly, it didn't help the business, and we continued in that downward pattern. Now, about 2 months after the tour, I was informed that the corporate VP of operations wanted to come to the plant to talk to me specifically in the plant manager's office. Now, since I had never had a really positive experience with him, I just assumed that maybe it was my last day at the factory. So I was told to be in my office around 3:30 that day, and as I was doing some paperwork, I looked up and noticed the VP walking by with a small box in his arms. Well, the first thought that came to my head was, well, my stuff's not going to fit in that box. So I was then invited into the plant manager's office, where seated around a large conference table was the entire staff at the plant. Now, it didn't occur to me immediately that something good was happening because, once again, I always thought the worst and hoped for the best. Well, the VP started talking about the customer tour, and after a few minutes I was realizing that, hey, maybe this was something good. And towards the end, he was talking about how well received the tour was, what great teamwork we did, and for recognition of my specific efforts, he was giving me a special NFL football autographed by Dolphins great Dan Marino. Well, he handed it to me, and I finally came out of my fog, not exactly sure what I said, but something about it being a team effort, and that I was taking the ball and going home. In the end, giving your best and giving your all beats the negatives that happen during those days and weeks, and realizing doing the right thing is always well received. I hope this story provided you with some inspiration to revisit your own processes. I have a lot more I'd like to share. Head over to pi-partners.com to learn how I can help. And check back from time to time for more Kaizen stories.